I stated that I recently purchased Dragonfruit pink flesh variety. Let me get it to focus. So from Home Depot, and it looks really good. It doesn't say what variety it is, just its scientific name, and it doesn't say, its variety. And so I have no idea other than that it has pink flesh. And this other one, which has red flesh, and same thing, it doesn't say what kind it is. Both were grown in Laverne, so that's a red flesh variety. And so I got one from Lowe's and one from Home Depot. Now here I have 3 cuttings from my mom and my sister's garden, my dad's garden. He's the one that grew them first, and then he potted up a couple and brought it to my sister's house. And so from her house, she had it for about a year, and the following year it started to have several fruit. And I had qualms about growing this initially because of the thorns, and another thing is to build the structure for it. But now that I've done some research, I just have to stay on top of it, and I think that I can grow them, and I definitely love dragon fruit. They're so tasty, juicy, very nutritious, high in antioxidants, and I think they're pretty low maintenance. You can't overwater it because it's kind of like a succulent or a cacti, but at the same time it provides you with food. And the way that it grows is so unique, so interesting. So I took some cuttings from my sister's house, and here is the tip that I cut it from. Oops, here we go. And it's dried. It's been dried for about 2.5 weeks now. And here's the other side that I cut. So it's healed over. You could just wait 2 to 3 days according to some people, but I had it set aside and I kind of forgot about it. This one's really flat. So this variety is pink on the outside, and it's got white flesh on the inside. And so although my parents had it, I wasn't interested in growing it because of the reasons I stated and the building of the structure. But my daughter loves the fruit, and so do I, and everyone else, so I figured why not. So here we go. I'm gonna plant them today. I've got 3 pots here that I filled with potting soil and labeled it white flesh dragon fruit. And I don't have, and you just stick it in the dirt about 2 to 3 inches. I don't have at the moment the stakes to prop up the plant, so I don't plan on moving it too much after it's in the dirt. So here's a second one, and I'm just sticking it face down from the side that I cut it off of, about 2 to 3 inches. And I'm doing that for all 3. I thought it was much thornier than this, honestly, but it's not. So there we have it, and at some point I'll try to stake it. Let me just add a little bit more soil to all of them and push it down to secure it a little more. So I went ahead and found some sticks from around the yard, from different branches of of hollyhocks and sunflowers to prop up against to stake up against the dragon fruit. And I have yet to buy some gardening tape and let it grow that way. So the next step now is to add some water and water it in, and then you have to put it in the shade because right now it has no roots and it'll dry out and desiccate and die. So you have to water it and set it in the shade and give it time to develop the root system. And another thing that's unique about it is, so at some point it will start growing from any of these pointy splintery thorn areas down below. It will grow the root ball, or at the tip where I had cut it off of, where it healed over, that will be another point where the roots will come out. And so basically, to find out if it's growing well is you can pull it out later after about 2 months or so, 3 months, and you could check for the roots to grow. But an easier way is to check if you have any shoots that come out, or that it's growing taller and green and lush. There are several ways to show that it's growing and thriving. So next I'm going to water it in, then I'm going to place it in the shade. So I've got some water here. You don't have to water it a whole lot initially because you don't want it to root rot or to rot at the base. So I just gave it just a baby amount of water. And now I'm going to put it in the shade. And just water it maybe once a week or something. So now I have transferred all the dragon fruit to this side here, and it's in the shade mostly, and I plan to keep it here for about a month before checking on and watering it, of course, occasionally, but then checking to see for new growth. And another thing here I got is this pussy willow, and my sister got it from a friend of hers, and she got 2 branches and they have blossoms on them, and she got it for something for the blossoms, I think. And she didn't realize that it's a good plant to grow because you can use it, cut up the branches when it's grown and soak it in water and use it as a rooting hormone, the water from it. And it is highly invasive, so it's highly suggested that you grow it in a pot. Now it's looking kind of burnt and stuff. I kept it in the shade here. I don't know if it's gonna make it because I believe it was on its way to blooming and had some leaves, and now it is dying off. It's had to struggle. When I got it, it did have roots, and I planted it here, but I'm not sure if it's gonna make it. So I'm gonna give it extra water, and not sure if I can move it further into the shade. But that's about it here. I also got another grapevine from my sister. I will show you. Here is a grapevine, and it's growing fantastic. And even though the wood looks dry and brown, it's still branched out new leaves. Now I'm not sure about these other 2 because they got moved around, and I haven't seen not one single leaf come out of them, but that's okay. As long as I got 1 out of 3, huh? As long as one is alive. So I'm grateful for that. And she did tell me the variety, I just can't remember it right now. So guys, I'm always doing a lot of planting around here and transplanting and seeding and everything. So here I transplanted the Jubilee watermelon, and the Suiho cucumber. And this is a volunteer something or another, I'm not really sure. So I had planted some mouse melon seeds here, and they were really tiny, and I haven't seen anything sprout from here after watering it for like 3 weeks. And I also put cucumber seeds here and nothing sprouted, so I really don't know why. So this is where I transplanted the other Suiho cucumber, I think. Yes. Here's a voluntary canna, and I'll just move it, put it in some pots. There's an area that I want to kind of have offer shade, and I'm going to put it in a pot and put it there where I want shade and privacy, because the fence is kind of low and the neighbor can easily look into my yard, and I kind of want a little more privacy. And I love green lush privacy walls, so that's kind of an idea of mine. I transplanted the cinnamon basil in this bed here. You can see that pink coloring on top. And the trio of basil here in this garden bed, because that was a spot that was empty. And it's not looking too hot because it's kind of dry here. But I transplanted the marigold here, and the stevia, and the pepper, which is doing fantastic, and in fact it has a little blossom there already, and I'm so excited. I transplanted the black diamond watermelon here, and I just decided to just stick the whole thing in there, because even though it had 4 plants, I'm afraid of it playing with the disturbing the roots and having it not grow and destroying it. So it's gonna grow okay, and it'll be ground cover down there and possibly growing up this trellis here that I have. So, and little things are starting to sprout in this garden bed, which I thought was gonna be bare over here, which it kind of is, but we'll see what happens, because things are sprouting up slower than I thought, but it's better now than never. Same thing with this Bellin fire ring. I thought that there was not going to be much growing in this bare spot here, which it's starting to pop up a few things, and who knows if something will pop up there. But if it doesn't, I might just throw in some more seeds there. Every day my Swiss chard is growing bigger and bigger, and I'm gonna have to harvest some of these older chewed up leaves to my rabbits and chickens. So, and then my citrus are growing tiny little fruit. I'm hoping for a lot more. So I'm just gonna leave things be and water things and see how they go this year with all the amendments that I pushed in, and I hope that everything thrives really well. So with that, have a great day. See you next time.